Hey guys, welcome back to Psalms to God. I know I didn't upload a video last week. That is because I have been working on this other project and it kind of threw me off of my filming schedule, but I do want to share that project with you. So, just a little bit of info about the project before I jump in and show you guys what I did. It started way back. A few years ago, I saw this thing called the Illustrating Bible. It's produced by Dayspring. If you are a Christian, if you are in the journaling community, the Christian journaling community specifically, but if you buy Christian devotionals and things like that, then you're probably familiar with Dayspring. They produce a lot of Christian content and things like that. And so they were selling this thing called the Illustrating Bible, and I think it's supposed to be like 10 by 10 or something, and it's especially for people who enjoy Bible journaling, people who like to put art in their Bible. And the thing about the Illustrating Bible is because it was created specifically for that, it has the wide margins, and the paper is supposed to be thicker than regular Bible paper, which should help you with whatever materials you're using in your Bible. And it looked cool. I'm not a huge uh, Bible journaling type of a person in the sense that I don't really write a whole lot in the Bible. I do have a journaling Bible that I write notes on the side, that I have like sticky notes everywhere. But the idea of like drawing pictures, particularly if you're drawing pictures that are like actually covering the word, which seems a little not good to me, but if that's your thing, cool. But that's never really been my thing. But I thought that the Bible itself looked interesting. And I like the idea of taking notes off to the side because I am a huge note taker, which you know if you follow this channel. And so when I first saw this Bible, I thought it was cool. Went to go look one up, and boy, y'all, that price was $100. I think it was $99 to be specific. But then you have to pay taxes and shipping, so it was $100 Bible. And I lost my mind, y'all. I just could not fathom that they were actually selling this Bible for $100. And there were so many things that was going through my head. And I was like, I'm about to make my own. There's no way it took them $100 to make it. And I had this idea that I was going to recreate it on my own. Now, when I went to try to do this back in 2019 or so, I was doing a study group with friends, and I was like, I'm just going to handwrite it. I'm not going to bother to print this out. I'm just going to write it by hand. I had the Pilot Friction erasable pens, so you can erase it if you make a mistake. And I was just like, that's what I'm going to do because it'll help me to commit it to memory. We were starting in Genesis 1 and going, a chapter or so each week. So I was like, as I study, I'll write out the chapter, I'll make my notes, and it'll be great. So many issues with that. Number one, it's a pain in the butt. Number two, it slows down your progress of actually reading because if you don't feel like writing all the verses out, then you can't read the verses. But also when you want to refer to other scriptures, they're not there in that book. You still need a physical Bible plus the one that you're creating. It wasn't working. Plus I had used really thin paper. And so it was like showing through the back, and I gave up. Threw the whole thing away, gave up, forgot all about this, and was just doing my normal thing. And a couple of weeks ago, I saw something called the Spiral Bible, which is essentially the same thing as the Illustrating Bible, though it's not quite as nice. It looks like a composition notebook. I'll insert a picture here when I do the editing. But it's the same concept, but it's like a spiral notebook with space off to the side where you can journal. Though this one looks a little less for like artistic purposes and more so for like the journaling thing. But once again, it is extremely pricey. So this one, instead of having it all in one, they've split it up into multiple sections. So they have the New Testament in one binding, and then they have like five something for the Old Testament. And if you bought all of them, you would be spending like $100+ to get the entire Bible in this form. And I just could not, I just can't understand it. I'm like, that's not how much it costs. As somebody who binds my own journals all the time, that is not how much it costs to make this. I know that for a fact. So I decided I was going to try this again, and I was going to make one myself. So that is my project. At the end of the video, I will go through the pros and cons of buying versus making it yourself. I'll go over some of the cost and what it took to actually do this. But I know some of you guys don't care about that. You just want to see the journal. So I'm going to show you the spiral Bibles that I made inspired by the illustrating Bible and the spiral Bible and what I actually came up with, because this time I did finish it. So let's switch over to my desk and take a look. So these are what I ended up with. My initial goal was to try to fit it all in one. That seemed like it was not going to be a thing, so I tried to fit it in two. And somewhere in there, I decided I wanted to add in the Apocrypha because 2 wasn't working either, and I was going to have to split it into 3, and I figured I might as well go for the gusto and put everything in here. So I have 3 books instead of the 5 that you have to get with the Illustrating Faith, and instead of the 1 that you would, 1 with illustrating, the Illustrating Bible, and 5 with the Spiral Bible. Sorry about that. And sorry to Illustrating Faith, which is a totally different brand and company altogether. So that is what I ended up doing. I made the covers myself so that they match somewhat. I went with this kind of like fall theme, and I did these like squares. I have orange, yellow, and this kind of red-orange color because, guys, I hate the color red. And then I have this leaf print paper that I did on each one, and then I just kind of did each one slightly different, a different combo so I could tell them the difference. I bought some Bible tabs to mark the books of the Bible and printed out the text and just went ahead and bound them. I did some math to see how to split it into thirds. So this is the beginning. This is Genesis through Job. And then we have Psalms through Tobit, which Tobit is from the Apocrypha. We'll probably have a conversation about that later. And then this final one is from Judith through Revelation. So for a total of 3, and there are, I think, roughly 1,300 pages. I did not number every single page, so there's that. So I want to show you guys inside. They're pretty much all of them are the same except different books. So we're going to focus here on the Old Testament. I inserted in some, well, let's go in order. So the front cover, I put in a color key for notes. Everyone has their own version of how they like to take notes, but I just have some colors, some symbols like boxing words, underlining words, and then I just came up with the things that I like to look at. I also added one for miscellaneous because inevitably you will forget a topic. There are a lot more colors in the world, so if you want to highlight more things, you can. I just really like the number 7, and also the whole rainbow kind of a vibe goes with the covenant given to Noah. So I just kind of stuck with that kind of a scheme. For those who are curious, the pens that I used to create this, I used the Zebra Mildliners. I'll list the exact colors in the description box, and I'm using the Inkjoy, the Papermate Inkjoy pens for the colors. They worked nicely together and they write nicely on this paper. So that is what I have. And then this is a Zebra Sarasa black gel pen for the black text. You can use whatever you want to, and I'm sure that I will not stick to just these pens as I go through, but that's what I did. I also have some sticky tabs. I have a couple different sets. This is the one that you can see down here. I do like to highlight examples of the fruit of the Spirit within the text. So I assigned a sticky tab to each one, and that is what this key is for. Found out late in the game that you can't actually write on these. So I had to write it and then stick it over it. That's why this looks the way it does. But that is essentially my inner cover. This is just a piece of scrapbook paper, like the front. And so that's how I created the cover. And then eventually, so I'm not completely finished setting everything up, but I'll probably, write out that this is the Bible. This is the King James Version. Just an FYI, some versions of the Bible are copyrighted. That's a whole conversation right there. This is the King James Version because it is not copyrighted, or it's in public domain. So there's that. But I'll probably put something here to introduce the fact that that's what this is. If you've seen my journals before, I have the biblical wheel of emotions where there are emotions on the circle and then there are Bible verses that correspond to them. I'm still writing them out here, but I copied it over to this and used some watercolor. I used the Chromatech watercolor set to do this page. But I thought it would be fun to have this up front, and then it goes straight into the Old Testament. I did not do like a table of contents or anything that you find in most Bibles because I don't really need it and I wasn't going to use it, and I have the tabs on the side. So waste of paper, waste of space. But getting into it, another thing that I did add to this that I thought was a good idea. I saw this on somebody else's channel. They print these out and stick them into their Bible. I went ahead and printed it out and included it in the spiral bound. And that is the graphics from the Bible Project. If you're not familiar with the Bible Project, you should definitely check them out. I will link them in the description box as well. These are on their website. I printed them off. I've also donated to their ministry because I think that it's only fair that I'm using so much of their stuff. But they do these little videos where you can see them drawing out these graphics, which is kind of hard to see because I printed it on Vellum, so it would be kind of cool and see-through. But they print out these diagrams where they go through the books of the Bible or words or information in a really succinct manner. So the videos are usually like 5 minutes, and they give you like a whole overview of what the book is about. So in most Bibles, you have the cover page or like a front page that says like Genesis, and it tells you who it's written by and when it was written and like all of this other information to help you study and help you prepare to read the book. Instead, I printed out the graphics from the Bible Project so that I can see the overview up front, and then it goes straight into the content. I did double column. I'm pretty sure that I can't remember if the Spiral Bible is double columned or single columned. I know that the Illustrating Bible is single columned. I did double column because it puts more text on the page, and also I'm just partial to double columned Bibles. And I in some cases you waste space. Like, so for some of these, it might have been nice to see it, single column, but when you get into the so-and-so begat so-and-so begat so-and-so, you're going to have like these little short lines and you're wasting space in your Bible. So I didn't do that. And then I left my column over here for, my journaling. And so that's basically most of the bulk of what it looks like. I did the text in latex. I basically just copied and pasted from an online Bible source and stuck it in latex so that it would work and so that it would do the drop caps for each chapter, as you can see here. And then I got it to put the headers up top. I was not able to figure out how to get it to say that this is like, for instance, this is Genesis 3 verse 1 through Genesis 4 verse 5 here at the bottom. If you buy a normal Bible, it will actually tell you that much information. I didn't feel like spending enough time to actually do that. I know that I could have, but I just was satisfied with it just telling me that Genesis 4 was on this page. And so that's what I did. Like I said, I didn't get too meticulous with it. I just wanted to do the bare minimum, if that makes any sense. I wanted to do a good job, but I didn't want to get too complex with it. Just the things that I would actually need. And I don't think I need exactly where it's going to be because I'm going to have to look at it anyway. So that's essentially what I did. I do have a small example where I actually have started using it. Like I said, been mostly just actually putting it together. So I haven't had time to really sit down and use it yet, but I have been studying for our upcoming Women of the Bible series. So this is Genesis 39, where I started taking some notes and have started using my highlighter and writing in notes. And as you can see, if I can flip the page, there's no shadowing, no ghosting, no bleeding. So this pretty decent. This is 32-pound HP premium paper. I have a new love. This may be my new favorite paper. The internet has been trying to convert me to HP premium paper for a while, and they have finally won. Y'all, this paper is life-changing. I'll get into that at the end. But this is kind of an example of me marking up things and how I like to do notes in the Bible. And then the only other thing I really did for this is I added in some colored sheets to take notes as a whole. It's kind of hard to see. In fact, I think my camera's doing weird things trying to like white balance on this, but there are dots on this. If you're a fan of the dot grid system, I did print dots on it, and then I just kind of randomly stuck paper throughout the journal in case I want to add in any sort of notes or lists or other information that I find interesting. And I did that for each book. And there's just different colors that I kind of played around with and had fun with, so that when I'm taking notes, I can find these pages easily. You can see them from the side. So if I shut my book and turn it up like this, you can see the colors. Let's see. There we go. So you can see the colors. So they're easy to find, so that you could do those types of lists. So the other two look basically the same, just different books of the Bible. They all also have the watercolor paper up front for me to put some sort of intro and do some sort of art thing. We still have these. And then so the Bible Project does not do these for the Apocrypha, because the Apocrypha is Deuterocanon, or it's not part of the Protestant Bible. And I'm pretty sure the Bible Project is a Protestant ministry, so it's not part of that. So when I got to these, there is nothing to start them off. I just have the actual books. I probably could have found something else to put there, but I just didn't, because the number of pages was already getting up there, and I just didn't want to do that. I did also put the color key in the back, so if I am reading and taking notes, I can look at the front or the back to find this key. I did different paper on the inside. That is more so due to what I had available than anything else, but I tried to keep it kind of in the same theme so it would match a little bit. This one I used kind of like a red marble, like the blue marble that's from the first one. just kind of staying in the theme. So that is what I did. If that's all that you wanted to see, thank you for sticking around to this point. For those who are curious, actually, you know what? This video is already like 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this video here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I actually was able to create. And for those who want to know more about how I created this, what it took, what are the pros and cons of doing it yourself versus just paying the money to have it done, and a little bit more about why I felt compelled to do this, then I'll make another video for you guys and I will post it in the description box once I actually post it so that you can get there quickly if you've seen this one. Thank you guys. See you later.